Welcome back to Joe's Son of Boxing. It was announced today that the former IBF super featherweight champion Anthony Cacace of Ireland will return with a fight against Leigh Wood, and that will be in Nottingham on May the 10th. Now, a lot of people have said, why did Cacace give up the IBF belt? He won it in great fashion against Joe Cordina last year, and then he defended. He didn't defend it against Josh Warrington. He had a fight with Josh Warrington, but because Warrington had never fought at that weight before, the IBF, quite rightly, I think, said, no, you're not fighting for the belt. But it was a lucrative payment for a guy who spent his career looking for decent money, and you can't hold that against him. And I think that is why I don't particularly mind Cacace giving up the belt, because the IBF are very stringent about mandatories. And when you are 36 years of age, which is what Cacace is, you want the big money, don't you? I mean, you can't hang around. He's got this belt. He's made a name for himself. He's beaten Cordina. He's beaten Warrington. And he was out in the cold. I mean, he was floating around, not doing a great deal. This guy's been a pro for 13 years, and he hasn't really been able to do a great deal, in terms of breaking through to big fights and big money. He's been Celtic, super feather champ. But, he had a shot at the British and Commonwealth belts, but he got outpointed by Martin J. Ward. That's his only defeat. So he did win the British super featherweight title against Sam Bowen. But in terms of, world-class opponents and world-class money, his opportunities were, it didn't look like he'd missed the boat, to be honest with you. So when he beat Cordina and then Warrington, that put him in the sort of the shop window, so to speak. So he's going to now go for where the money is. And there's no doubt that a matchup with Leigh Wood, who is coming up from featherweight, having had some very, very exciting fights, he reversed his knockout loss to Maurizio Lara. He beat him on points. He beat Can Zhu on a 12th round stoppage. Even the fight for the British title against Reece Mould was a good old scrap. He stopped Reece Mould in 9 rounds. And of course, who can forget the Michael Conlan fight, where he was floored heavily, Leigh Wood, in the first round, and then came back to not Conlan out, but knock him out of the ring. Brilliant fight. And he also has a come from behind win over Warrington, where he knocked him out in 7 rounds. And Warrington was winning that fight. Wood was dead at the weight, but he managed to find the punch from somewhere. Very, very hard hitter. Very, very hard hitter, Leigh Wood. So, and also, I think he's in his 30s as well, isn't he? So these guys, they want maximum money, and this is called prize fighting, and that's why I don't mind if Cacace has given up the belt, because I think this is a great matchup. I think it'll be a very, very good fight, and I'll be surprised if it isn't. It's actually for a version of the world title, which is the IBO title, but no one really cares. Again, I'd rather watch. To me, the worth of the belt is determined by the guys who hold it and the people that hold it. I mean, Alexander Usyk holds the IBO heavyweight title, but even then, people are like, yeah, but is it really a world title? I mean, I'm old enough to remember when the WBO came along, and they were considered for quite a few years to be the sort of equivalent of the IBO now. It was a poor man's belt. So, for example, no one thought that Francesco Damiani was the heavyweight champion of the world, or Ray Mercer, even though, or Tommy Morrison, even though they held that belt. And they're not bad fighters. It's just that the worth of the belt is sometimes ignored. Now, this fight, like I say, this fight is going to be in May, on the 10th of May. I'm looking forward to it. And I like both these guys. I think I'm a big fan of both of them. So it's going to be very difficult for me to say, I hope so-and-so wins. And, I wouldn't mind seeing a draw, to be honest with you. they can both get paid again. But I think it'll be a good fight. It is over in Nottingham, which is Leigh Wood's stomping ground. Leigh Wood hoped to rematch Josh Warrington in the City Ground, Nottingham Forest City Ground, because he's a big Forest fan. Last year he hoped to do that, but for whatever reason it didn't come off. So Warrington went up a weight and fought Cacace, and Cacace handled him with relative ease. Warrington looked a little bit long in the tooth in that fight. I don't know whether he's going to carry on. That was his third. I think that was his third loss in a row, Warrington. So in terms of, it's weird because Cacace pretty much controlled Warrington for the 12 rounds. He had to work hard. Warrington don't give you any easy gigs. But he didn't look like he was ever going to stop Warrington. Whereas Warrington actually kind of very close to dominating Leigh Wood in the first 6 rounds, for the first 6 rounds of their fight, but then got chinned in the 7th. So you can't really take that common opponent and read much into it because the fights ran very different courses. But I do like both these guys, Cacace and Wood. I think, I'm not. It's going to be a difficult one to do a prediction on. And I mustn't let my heart get the get the better of me. When you do these predictions, you're meant to use your head, not your heart. But these are good guys. I might even go for a draw. You never know. Anyway, I just thought I'd quickly update you on that. You may have read about it already. If you haven't, there it is. What do you think? You got any opinions? If so, please leave them below in the comments. I always enjoy reading your comments. And if you're new to the channel, you can subscribe. That would be great. And if you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the like button because you're a good person. And it's free. And it takes a second. No problem. Spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing. Many thanks, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your week. And bye for now.